Morning and welcome to the market review for Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. Today we'll be taking a look at developments in the financial and capital markets related to economy, and our special focus, as we always do every Thursday, is on the commodities market space. So what's the lineup for what we have? First, we'll be looking at the ongoing police brutality protests and its impact on the agro-commodities space in the country. What's the lineup for today? We'll give you updates on commodities, agro-commodities across the globe. We'll also take a look at the impact it's having on the agro-commodities space in Nigeria, like we said earlier. And we'll now take a concerns and assessment on what these protests and the riots and what hoodlums are doing, how it's affecting the business and market environment, especially Nigeria's economic capital, Lagos. So let's begin with the commodities update we have. Looking at activities for what is happening so far at the agro-commodity space. Local market activity increased the most for soybeans in September, while paddy rice experienced its highest price decline in the past 12 months, resulting in a double-digit percentage price decline. This was complemented by declining volatility on the exchange and international markets, indicating increased commodity price stability post-COVID period. While the exchange saw volatility decline across all commodities, prices on the open market became increasingly unstable, most especially for maize and paddy rice. The open market prices for maize and soybeans increased in response to the termination of the lean season of crop calendar in the agrarian north, which indicates the beginning of harvest from the current planting season, which will span fourth quarter 2020. The exchange executed prices for the month under review increased for maize and paddy rice due to the transmission effects from commodity scarcity. However, the exchange prices were collectively lower than the physical markets for comparative commodity grades being offered on the exchange. Paddy rice pricing eased considerably on the international market due to seasonal market liquidity from Asian producers. In terms of market perspective, the report focuses on the average monthly price, analyzing three key indicators: the price variance analysis, volatility analysis, and the price seasonality performance analysis for maize, soybean, and paddy rice across crop endemic zones in Nigeria and the international market. For the open markets, commodity prices increased further in September for maize and soybeans, while paddy rice prices eased considerably, sustaining the season's upward trend, which was cumulatively most pronounced for paddy. For soybeans, the average monthly price experienced a reversal of last month's price decline. The average price tightened by 5.1% month-on-month, a 5.4% points change in comparison to August 2020. The commodity cycle is currently mid-season, and market liquidity is expected to ease considerably and impact market price with the onset of harvest, which should span the month of October and November. In addition, the seasonality performance for soybean showed a year-on-year price increase of 3.3%, which is about 9.8 points in comparison to September 2019. The commodities price has continued to rise as it recorded an 8% volatility in August, which is 2% points rate. The commodity, however, had the lowest price volatility in group of commodities, reflecting soybean comparative price stability in the season. Maize prices had a unique 4-month run, which spanned third quarter 2020 and has tapered off as it experienced a 1.55% price increase month-on-month, showing down by 13.2% points, the highest reversal of the commodity's bullish trend ever seen. The seasonality performance for the commodity increased by 128.2% year-on-year, up 2.6% points in comparison to September 2019. The market demand is set to decline as the lean season is set to be terminated as main harvests come in during fourth quarter 2020 to replace depleted stocks. The volatility for the commodity in September was its highest in 3 years as it leapt to 38 up by 31 percent points month on month. Comparing the volatility of September 2019 with this current year reveals an increasing market price instability in open market prices for maize. For paddy rice, it has been mirrored and showed that the market tightening of maize market price increased. The commodity returned an increase of 17.7%, up 3.1 percent points month on month, thereby maintaining a 4-month consistent double-digit percentage price increase in the market from March 2020. The market seasonality performance surged to 111.2% year-on-year, up by 80.9 percent points. Paddy rice market price experienced a reversal in single-digit price volatility achieved over the past 3 months. The average volatility was 20% in September, up 13 percent points month on month, while the seasonality trend revealed a consistent volatility increase over the past 3 years, reflecting increasing market price instability. Now let's look at the FX Commodities Exchange, which of course is the private commodities exchange in Nigeria that is really effective and being functional, providing value in the exchange space, particularly at the agro-commodity space. The exchange experienced relatively lower price points when compared to the open market for maize, soybean, and paddy rice in September 2020. The month average executed prices on the exchanges were lower than the open market prices for maize, soybeans, and paddy rice, which went by 12.5%, 8.4%, and 0.47% respectively. The month-on-month volatility declined by a considerable margin for the 3 commodities covered by the index. Maize, of course, had 7 percent points, soybean had 8 percent points, and paddy rice had 12 percent points. The seasonality trend of the volatility revealed a year-on-year decline for maize, minus 7%, soybean minus 11%, and paddy rice minus 8 percent points in volatility. Taking a look at the international market, maize and soybean prices increased marginally in September. Soybean increased by 7.3%, while maize increased by 4.1% month to month. Paddy rice average monthly price also increased by 2% due to seasonal market liquidity from Asian producers. With the depletion of global stocks of paddy rice, production areas in Southeast Asia experienced limited supply for irrigation, thereby prompting production revisions, causing prices to tighten for the commodity. Furthermore, the global stocks for soybeans have also been impacted by the low production from the USA. Exports from South America and Europe have, however, bridged the gap, but not sufficiently enough to moderate market prices. Month-on-month volatility dropped in September for maize and paddy rice to 3%, down by minus 2 percent points, and 3% down 1 percent point. Soybean price volatility was stable month-on-month at 4%. Price seasonality year-on-year performance experienced wide margin changes for maize 11.3%, up 8.3%, soybean 17.3%, up 13.3%, and paddy rice 12.2%, up by 47.9%. Looking at the composite index monitor of FX, the FX Commodities Index Composite opened at 271 points and had a monthly average of 271 points, a positive month-on-month performance against August 2020 that closed at 271 points at the last trading day of the month. The season-to-date performance of the ACI Composite at the last trading day of the month was positive, closing 106.2 points above the index opening at the beginning of the season. The year-on-year seasonality performance experienced 106.2 points, which is 64.4% difference against September 2019. For the maize sub-index, the maize sub-index opened at 350.1 points and had a monthly average performance of 350.1 points, representing a positive performance of the sub-index against August 2020, closing at a value of 350.1 points. The sub-index recorded a positive season-to-date performance on the last trading day of the month, closing 176 points, which is 101.1% above the December index opening, while the year-on-year performance experienced a 101.1% increase against September 2019. In September 2020, maize price on the exchange was significantly higher when compared to August 2019. The soybean sub-index opened at 236.3 points and had a month average performance of 236.3 points, representing a positive month-on-month performance for the sub-index. It closed with a value of 236.2 points as it recorded a positive season-to-date performance on the last trading day of the month, closing 21% above the December opening of the index. The year-on-year performance experienced a 41-point uptick, which is 21% against September 2019. In September 2020, soybeans price on the exchange was relatively lower when compared to September last year. Paddy rice sub-index opened at 222.6 points and had a month average value of 222.6 points, representing a month-on-month positive performance to close at 222.6 points at the end of the month. The sub-index recorded a positive season-to-date performance on the last trading day of the month, closing 97.6 points above the sub-index opening at the start of the season, while the year-on-year performance experienced a 78.1% increase against September 2019. Paddy rice exchange price was significantly higher in September 2020 compared to September 2019, showing some improvement relatively from the FX commodities index and global commodities market. That's a good one for September, but would that be the case in October? We'll be here to give you the updates on that information. Which brings us to a conversation for today. The End Police Brutality protest has been on now 3 weeks. We're getting to the 1 month mark by next week. But everything changed this week when the security forces swooped on the peaceful protesters on October 20, 2020, a Black Tuesday in Nigeria's history, and opened fire on unarmed youth protesters. Several lives lost, several critically injured, and that has caused taking a new dimension to the protest as hoodlums and hoodlums, let me use that word, have hijacked the process, and it's a huge concern across the country. Roads have been blocked across the country. I mean, major roads like the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway have been blocked during the period. This, of course, some hoodlums have taken that. Abuja, Kefi Highway, even the access roads from Benin to Lagos during the period of the protest. And this definitely has had impact on the commodities, agro-commodities. So for those of us that look at the agro space, it's a huge challenge. First, what is affected is logistics. Logistics is now affected because the movement of foodstuffs from the farm to the various markets, and of course from there getting to homes, has been disrupted. So logistics for now is a real issue. Logistics companies can tell you how they are facing this impact in terms of moving agro-produce goods from the farms, from the various agro centers to the city, major cities. So for now, that's been affected because of the spate of protest and road blockage. And in Lagos State already, we have curfews, which will come to that. The second aspect is that, yes, it's going to affect storage, because one area Nigeria has a challenge is storage. We don't have effective storage systems. So for the limited ones we have, it's going to be a challenge this period, as the protest has created a lot of uncertainty in achieving effective storage of foodstuffs and agro-produce. The third one is security. As we all know that the security forces are doing their best to secure various assets across the country, and they will be stretched. And so effective security from movement of produce and agri-products from the farms to city centers will face challenges if we don't have enough security manning them. So across all the major highways now, we need to reinforce security to ensure that those produces that are being taken out are not attacked. An interesting incident occurred where, I mean, this was a part of like an accident or so involving a truck carrying several bags of agro-produce and along the East-West Road. But that's an example of the kind of challenges that logistics will face this period as the protest continues across the country. And then this will now lead to what we'll describe as increase in food prices. A lot of speculations, but definitely these factors will lead to increase in food prices. So, of course, we'll be monitoring the inflation report for October. It will be very critical to see the impact of this on food prices. As you all know, December is around the corner. December is the Christmas season. Christians celebrate it, but for everyone, we reflect at the end of the year. Families like to be together. So definitely, this protest and the impact will be felt on the agro commodities. So from a point of planning ahead, people have been told, stock up your house, get enough foodstuffs that are available now, purchase them and stock up, because you don't know how it will play out. But definitely, food prices will be on the rise in this period. The markets, some markets have been burnt, which is very unfortunate and highly condemnable. But this also, again, will be part of the challenges we'll be facing. Burning of markets by hoodlums will definitely affect the transactions, the activities. Ability of people to go to markets to make purchases for food items. So where do you go? And of course, there are also reports some shopping malls that you have foodstuffs stored and refrigerated have been looted and attacked. So for for families living in highbrow areas, they just have to go and get foodstuffs from those malls. They will also be affected this period, even as the activities of the protesters has been hijacked by hoodlums. The curfew in Edo State, Edo started the curfew when there was a jailbreak incident. Edo State is home to two major agro companies, Presco and Okomo Oil Palm. Both of them are oil palm companies. Activities there would, of course, obviously be affected in a way, just like Lagos is also home to agro-based industries and companies. This will be, of course, a big challenge to see how it's being navigated, and again, how it will impact the agro sector. So the inflation reports, will monitor that, and of course, see how this has impacted food inflation in the country. An overview, let's get to the broader view of the market and the economy. As we said yesterday, Lagos is Nigeria's economic capital, but not just Nigeria's economic capital, Nigeria's financial and capital market hub. Like I said earlier yesterday, over 60% of businesses in Nigeria, the headquarters of over 60 businesses quoted on the Nigerian Stock Exchange are in Lagos State. And they span across the oil and gas, the banks, and the insurance companies. Yesterday, there were very, very unfortunate incidences of attacks on infrastructure and assets. They cut across banks, so most of them are listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Nigerian Ports Authority head office, which coordinates the activities in the ports across the country. Most concentration of the ports in Nigeria are in Lagos State. And also the shopping malls. Some shopping malls were attacked, and these are examples I gave of shopping malls that have refrigerated foodstuffs that families, especially the affluent and those that live in the highbrow areas, go to shop. Media stations, a major media station was touched. Newspaper house was also touched. Markets, like I said earlier, and then security units, police stations, which are where the police take their operations from, were also touched. And of course, transportation services, the Lagos Bus Rapid Transportation Service stations were all touched. So it's very clear there: logistics, transportation, the financial markets, and of course the gateway for trade and commerce. And that brings to the fore the need once again to appeal to all stakeholders to use their influence and government to strengthen communication to address the growing concerns and this particular issue that the protest has been hijacked by hoodlums to ensure that the markets, the financial market and the economy experiences stability. We'll be monitoring of course, as we always do, We'll give you updates on the Nigerian capital market and the FMDQ and the NSD, all developments every day, this period, on our market opening gong, to monitor the impact of the activities of hoodlums now, not just the protests, on the market and economy. So we expect that definitely by today, there should be some stability in the city, and if that happens, it will cause market activities to resume, hopefully. But so far, a lot of market events have been postponed. The Nigerian Stock Exchange was planning to have its market data 5th edition event workshop, but that can hold again. It's been postponed indefinitely. And also, we had the digital gong ceremony for the Keja Hotels PLC CEO, but it couldn't hold yesterday, been postponed. Also, there have been postponement of the activities, events across other market players. So for now, everything has been put on hold, watching the trends and development across the country. We hope that everything is resolved amicably, because this is very important for our nation. But yes, there are reports that we've received. While this is happening, we're seeing some reports from the markets. For example, third quarter 2020 results have been coming in. We can say that Africa Prudentials declared a 1.4 billion naira profit after tax in third quarter 2020. We also can say that apart from that, we've seen reports that Guinness Nigeria PLC declared 842 million loss in its first quarter 2021 results. But we'll bring you further updates on that in our market opening gong. We would like you to monitor that and check on that. So in the essence, we once again reiterate the fact that we'd like everyone to stay safe. We'd like everyone to take caution in this period. And we know that our investors are very worried across the world, watching what's happening in Nigeria, particularly Lagos, which is Nigeria's economic hub. We want to reassure them that Nigeria is that preferred hub for investments, and definitely would come through this much stronger. But please stay safe wherever you are across the country, and the appeal to the government to continue communication and guaranteeing security. Appeal to all stakeholders to use their influence to restrain peaceful protests from becoming something of intense concern. And like I said earlier, the hoodlums, the security forces have the role to play to ensure that the hoodlums are brought to book and their activities are brought under control. And finally, for those that lost their loved ones or those that are critically injured at the Black Tuesday event, where security forces opened fire against unarmed youth, we once again pay tribute to those that lost their lives, and we hope that everyone involved in that heinous act will be brought to justice, because nobody invests in a territory or a market or an economy where there are no effective legislations to ensure that investments are guaranteed and that those who attempt to destabilize the polity are brought to book. So those are signals that we have to send to the international community. United Nations has sent the message and expect to see action. Investors will be watching how government and all stakeholders react, because that is what will fuel the activities in our markets and economy. That will be all for today's edition of the Market Review. Please visit our website, www.prochange.com, to watch our videos, read our news reports and articles. Particularly, go on to ProShare, the site. On the right, scroll down, you'll see commodities. You get all the updates on our commodity space and market. Very rich content we have for you. Once again, please stay safe. Please stay safe. Please stay safe. Till we come your way again, thank you for watching. Have a nice day and stay safe.